Good morning, and thank you for having me. Look, I think advantages with Celtics at the moment, because they scored that away goal. The first game, I think they dominated, the first half. Where they played very well. They were very adventurous. I think they didn't really sit back. And they really unsettled us, defensively. But I think second half we did regroup, and we managed to get the equalizer. I think with a little bit of luck, we could have, scored, even a second goal. But, going into the second leg, we always knew that, this game was going to finish, in Bloem, because it's a two-legged semi-final. And I think we still have a lot to play for, and the pressure is now on them. They have the advantage, and I don't know what kind of tactics are they gonna, apply. Whether they're gonna be able to sit back, or they're gonna come out at us and expose themselves. So they are at they are under pressure, and hope we will be able to take that pressure to them as well. Yeah, look. It is a concern, but not really a worry, because I think if I look at Clayton and Bongani, I think they've played about 5 games in probably 15 days, and it's normal that we've been playing week in, week out, and without any rest. I think there was a huge improvement, last night, his game. And we have been crippled a little bit with injuries to the younger center backs like Titi Titlogwe, as well as Luke Fraser and Grant Kenkana, through injury. But I've got faith in what we have. It's always important for us, to trust, the players which we have, and try and make, find solutions. And I think yesterday we managed to find solutions, and I was quite happy with Sia, coming in there to plug in that gap. And probably we might bring Bongani back again, because he will be well rested, on Saturday. But it's not only about the defense, in terms of our pressing. It starts, we always start pressing from the front. And if we don't press well there, it also, exposes our defense. And yesterday, I think our pressing was very good. That's why we could deal with the space behind and the space in front. So I was quite happy yesterday. Yeah, you're right. I think last time around, I think we drew 2-2 the Chiefs, and we went on to win 1-0 at FNB. And last season, we also drew against Sundowns 1-1, and we went on to win the second leg 2-0. But this is a different game, I think, also against a different opponent, an opponent which is very motivated. You could see yesterday they rested about 6-7 players. They will be well rested, but with us, we always try and take it one game at a time. And the league was also important to us, as well as the MTN8. So now the focus is the MTN8, and we will have players also coming back, from injury. And I think that will also boost us in terms of team selection. But in terms of our, experience, like I said earlier on, that at the moment the pressure is on, Celtics, because they have an advantage. So with us, we just have to go out there and play our normal game. That's very key. We don't need to panic. We just have to try and take the game to them and manage the game properly. We might score early, or even if Celtics score first, we still in the game. We still, we won't be dead yet. So we always gonna be in the game, even if they score early. So for me, we always try and make sure that we focus on our game, and that's what we're going to do against Celtics.
Yes. In fact, I wanted to ask you about the dynamics of this away goal. as you've said, they've rested a number of players last night. So surely that makes it clear about their intentions. So on your side, do you go out early on the front foot to cancel out that away goal? And I'm saying this also with the good history that you have in the tournament when one looks at how you've done. And I think there was a stage where you were in a similar position, not last season, I think a season before, when you went to play a semi-final against Maritzburg United.
Yeah, true. Yeah, look, I think, sometimes in a way goal can give you also a false sense of, advantageous, position. But for us, what matters is that we are not under pressure at the moment, because we are in a situation where we have to try and go there and get a goal. But at the same time, we need to be able to manage the game and not play, under pressure. That's very key for us. We have to go out there and play our normal game, and see how Celtics are going to respond, because that's very important, for us. And we've got the players to do that, to be able to manage the game. And we know on a good day, we always try and get a goal, one or two. We always try and score. So that will give us a morale boost if we can be able to score a little bit early. But still, the longer it gets, the more pressure goes to Celtics. Nah, not necessarily. I think the reason why I say so is they have the advantage. And what matters on the day is how are they going to approach the game? Are they going to sit back, or are they going to come out? So with us, we've got only one thing on our minds. We have to try and get a goal in Bloem, and there's no doubt about that. So that's why I'm saying the pressure is on them. They've got already 1 foot into the final, and it will depend on the tactics on the day. What is it that's going to be their approach? That's why the pressure is.
So in terms of maybe you don't want to discuss individual players, but there's one player who's been very key, the coach, if you look in terms of the consistency. And I'm sure with your video analysis, there's a lot of work that you've also done on him. He contributed with an assist this past weekend, Victor Litswalo. And also in terms of the youngsters, which you've introduced so far, how is that integration process going?
Look, I start with Victor. I think Victor gave us huge problems, in the first leg, because he could make, runs from deep, as well. And he's also, a goal scorer as well. I think you saw in the first game when they played Sundowns, he scored, the goal. So he's one who we need as well to keep a watch on. And I think he was a late inclusion as well in that game, because in their actual lineup, he was not part of the starting lineup. So they included him a little bit late. But at the same time, I think we also need to keep an eye on him. But in because he's a good player, and he's proved over and over again that he can hit you on a day. And with us, with our younger players, I think I'm happy with the progress they've made so far. Although it's still a long way to go, but I think I'm just happy, that they can manage to get, a few, game time here and there, because it's part of their development, and they've got to be introduced gradually, and I'm happy with their progress at the moment. With Manziva Julie, it's still long term. I think we only expecting him in the new year, so he is definitely out. The players we might get, probably it's Jesse Don, who sat on the bench yesterday. But Sipho Mbule is just started training today, like full training. So he's not fit enough to be considered for selection. as well as Grant Kekana and Luke Fraser. Luke Fraser also started just training today, so not fit enough as well to be considered for selection. So that's where we are at the moment in terms of our injuries. But everyone is raring to go. The other players who are fit, who've been playing, all along, are raring to go, and we will have a strong team to put out on Saturday. Look, I think we are in this situation because we want to get to the final, and we are very optimistic that we get to the final. And though it's not going to be easy because we are playing a very good team, a team which is also determined to get to the final. So we will really have to, to give our best on the day, especially from our experienced players. I think they will really have to dig deep, for us to get a positive result, and we are very positive about that. I look with Bradley. Sometimes if he doesn't score, we tend to believe that he hasn't had a good game. But for me, his overall contribution in our attacking structure is very key. Is very important, and I'm quite happy with his contribution, so far. And he will still continue to play that role, whether he scores or he doesn't score, but he's still key to us. Look, I think our eyes are firmly on our second leg, because we've got to do our business first before we can start thinking about, who we're going to meet in the final. So we're not really concerned about what's happening in the other fixture. What's important is for us, to focus on our game against Celtics. Then we can start thinking about the final once we've got into the final. But for now, it's Celtics.